World leaders call for $23 billion to end pandemic this year. The COVID-19 pandemic could be defeated this year, but only if vaccines, tests and treatments are made available to all people, UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres said on February 9. ASEAN COVID-19 table, the 11th of February 2022. ASEAN as a whole has reported more than 17.5 million COVID-19 cases. Of this, more than 960,000 are active cases as of February 11. Ministry of Economy announces $100 million funding increase for SME Bank and Rural Development Bank for Agriculture. The Ministry of Economy and Finance will announce the announcement of additional funding of $100 million for the Cambodian Small and Medium Enterprise Bank and the Agricultural Rural Development Bank to provide additional support to SMEs, agriculture and agriculture industry, according to the press release on February 10, 2022. Cambodia tightens pandemic prevention measures as Omicron rages. Authorities of Phnom Penh capital city has just issued a regulation to deal with the growing number of Omicron variant infections in Cambodia. The harrowing legacy of US coming to others' houses uninvited, case in point, Cambodia. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken recently said that once Russians are in your house, it's sometimes very difficult to get them to leave. But he failed to realize that this tag is more suitable for the US itself. Phnom Penh, Mets of France to form sister city alliance. Phnom Penh, capital of Cambodia, and Met City of France will form an alliance between the two cities in the near future. Ministry of Labor reminds factory owners to ensure all their workers are vaccinated against COVID-19. The Ministry of Labor and Vocational Training issued a notice to all owners or directors of factories to immediately contact the local authorities to prepare vaccines and to encourage workers in any location to get vaccinated soonest possible. AMM retreat to be held in hybrid format next week with at least 7 attending physical meeting. Cambodia, as chair of ASEAN, will host the ASEAN Foreign Ministers, AMM, retreat next week, from February 15 to 17 in Phnom Penh in a hybrid format, said a press release of the Cambodian Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation made public yesterday. Cambodia's number of factories increased to 1,879 last year. Cambodia registered new 163 factories last year, bringing the total operating factories to 1,879 factories last year, data from the Ministry of Industry, Science, Technology, and Innovation shows. Okira, the former child soldier who dug up 50,000 landmines in Cambodia. The dangers of war do not end once it is over. Bombs and mines were still left hiding on the ground of once was a war zone. NZ-funded climate-smart farming program pays off for subsistence farmers and Cambodians. An international development program, funded by the New Zealand government, that powers subsistence farmers in Cambodia to build resilience to climate change and lift themselves out of poverty, has shown remarkable success. PP limits attendees at weddings and religious gatherings. With the recent surge of the COVID-19 Omicron variant, which yesterday saw another record-breaking daily count of cases again, the government was compelled to impose extra measures, the effects of which are likely to be felt by the people in general and businesses alike. Good to go. Pfizer can be sent to provinces in normal freezers. The Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine does not need to be constantly stored at -80 degrees Celsius, and it is understood that the Health Ministry has been made aware of this. 6 foreigners arrested for illegal confinement of 3 countrymen, police rescue victims. 6 Chinese nationals were arrested in Phnom Penh on Wednesday for the illegal confinement of 3 men and attempting to extort money from them for their release. Parties prepare platforms and candidates for local elections. Phuntsipek's newly elected president Prince Norodom Chakravuth has outlined his strategy for competing in the upcoming commune election on June 5, as other political parties do the same. 7 provinces to be mine-free by 2025, a relief to Cambodians. 7 provinces, Prey Veng, Khan Dao, Kampong Cham, Pri Sihanouk, Mondulkiri, Ratanakiri and Kep, will be mine-free by 2025. ASEAN defense officials adopt 3 initiatives. 3 initiatives relating to defense cooperation between ASEAN member countries, proposed by the Kingdom, were adopted at the ASEAN Defense Senior Officials Meeting Working Group, ADSM-WG. Hun Sen visits South Korea, attends the World Summit. Prime Minister Hun Sen yesterday flew to South Korea for a 4-day visit and to co-host the World Summit 2022. Sultan of Brunei to visit Cambodia before summit. The Sultan of Brunei, Sultan Hassanal Bolkiah, will pay an official state visit to Cambodia before the ASEAN summit under the theme ASEAN A.C.T, addressing challenges together, which will be hosted by the kingdom this year. Cambodia prioritizes unity in solving Myanmar crisis. On Wednesday, Foreign Affairs Minister Prak Sokhonn met with the Senate's Commission on Foreign Affairs, International Cooperation, Media and Information to brief the Commission about Cambodia's foreign policy in the context of swift-changing, uncertain and risky world situations. Cambodia soon to transit into digital identification milestone. With digital identity becoming increasingly important for governments and citizens, Cambodia is also in the midst of transiting into having digital identification of people's birth certificates, identity cards and passports. Oda Meanchey strives to reduce school dropouts. The relevant authorities in Oda Meanchey province are taking all possible measures to ensure that there are either zero dropouts from schools or very minimum numbers, especially with the government giving emphasis on the importance having quality education to improve the livelihood of the future generation. Lovers arrested over killing of girl's brother. Police in Siem Reap province's Sauta Nikham district yesterday sent a pair of lovers to the provincial court for questioning over the alleged murder of the girl's 11-year-old brother because he caught them having sex. Disabled girl burns to death, father sustains severe burn wounds. A 16-year-old disabled girl was burned to death while her 53-year-old father suffered serious burn wounds on his body when a fire broke out in their wooden house yesterday in Mui village, Tren Traoeng commune, Phnom Sruok district, Kampong Spu province. Holdouts cry foul over dispute resolution. After the Kokong Provincial Administration mediated land titles for 664 families in Botam Sakha district who had been in a dispute with Lai Yong Fat's sugar company since 2006, 100 holdouts built huts on the property to occupy the land. Banteay Meanchey prison chief under probe for corruption and cronyism. The Interior Ministry has investigated Banteay Meanchey Provincial Prison Department chief accused of committing corruption and employing his kin in his department. Activist who threw shoe at PM's image freed after serving time. A former CNRP activist was released from prison on Wednesday after having served out her sentence for insulting government leaders and throwing a shoe at a Cambodian People's Party billboard showing the images of Prime Minister Hun Sen and National Assembly President Heng Samrin in 2017. FMD affecting cattle in Svay Rieng. 5 districts in Svay Rieng province have detected animals suffering from foot and mouth disease, FMD, a member of the Picornaviridae family, which is highly contagious.